Hello, welcome back or welcome to the video. Today's going to be a voiceover sketch draw with me session as I get back into drawing portraits. I've been watching M. Hughes art recently on YouTube, and her pencil crayon portraits are just like so amazing, totally out of this world. I'll link her in the description below. And yeah, watching that, they kind of got me in the mood to work on my skills for drawing faces, so that is what I'll be doing today. If you like sketchbook content and general art making, art vlogs, that sort of thing, then you'll probably like some of my other videos, especially if you like sketchbook tours. So yeah, you should subscribe if that is something that you do, and if not, all good. I'll see you in the video, or rather, I'll speak to you in the video, because I will not be showing my face in this one. So yeah, let's get into it. So, this is a still of Astarion from Baldur's Gate 3, and as you can see, I started an attempt on the left, straight into pencil crayon, and absolutely no real sketching or reference points used, and I was like, okay, there's no saving this. For context, I don't do faces a lot anymore, and anything I ever did was like copying pictures of Dragon Ball Z characters when I was like 8 to 12 years old or something. I didn't take any formal portrait drawing classes or learning anatomy. We did figure drawing, but not really actually learning about proportions or planes of the face or anything like that. So please don't scold me too much. I'm learning. That is part of the point of this video. And as I've said, this is like a skill that I wish to develop and get better at. Like I said, when I was young, that was all I wanted to do. Like, being in Artist Alley was my dream, but I was young, and my mom also wouldn't even let me go to Anime North. For context, I am from Canada. Anime North is in Toronto. So as I got older, that dream kind of died, and my art has changed a lot since then, and I'm not mad about it. However, I do still get a hankering for making fan art and practicing characters in this style. And since Chris and I just finished Baldur's Gate 3, I felt like it was appropriate, you know? So yeah, as you can see with the right side that I'm working on, I actually used some reference points and geometric shapes to help with laying out the face a bit better. I don't usually struggle with this too much for straight-on faces, and that's probably just because that's what I practice a lot, or like when I'm just kind of doodling and whipping stuff up. I just don't find it as challenging. Things seem laid out a lot better, but anything at any kind of an angle is a bit more challenging to just wing it. And winging it is definitely my usual style and just general approach to art. I like to work a lot more intuitively and seem to not have the patience anymore for being precise. However, in the case of faces, you can't really do that, or you can't always do that, especially if, like me, you don't do a lot of portrait or do any at all, basically. If you don't know and understand the planes of the face and things like that, then it's not going to look right, which you can see on the left-hand side of this spread. Especially if you're trying to capture a degree of likeness to a character. And I wouldn't say I fully get the likeness by the end of this, but it does get a lot closer, like way closer than the left-hand side, as you'll kind of see. So yeah, the best way I find to get your proportions in line without having to do too much sketching first is just aligning certain key parts of the face with others. So noticing things like the corner of the mouth on the left ends near the corner of the eye, and the right side of the mouth, the right corner of the mouth, is a bit more to the right of the pupil. Whereas when you look at a face straight on, generally the corners of the mouth are right at the center of the pupils of the eye. So yeah, you have to kind of notice those little shifts and things like that, and it'll help you kind of orient things on the face. You want to look at, like where the bottom of the ear sits, you know, how big of a gap between the mouth and nose. These are the things that I find if you don't pay attention, our instinct when we're first learning to draw doesn't always place them correctly on the face. I know I've often felt like, wow, the line of the mouth seems way too big. It seems really long. It's taking a lot of space up on the face, but in reality it's not. So we can't always trust our instincts in these moments, especially when we're learning. Like a great example, think about when a child draws pictures of themselves or their family. You know, we understand what they're drawing is a human. However, there's not exactly accuracy or likeness necessarily. And I mean, like, maybe that's a terrible example, but it is kind of the same idea in that a child knows what a face looks like. They see a face, they recognize it just like you do. It doesn't mean they know how to draw it. And it's the same for us as adults. I'm not comparing you to a child, but like any skill, if you don't know how to recreate it, our instinct isn't there. Like, otherwise children would create very accurate portraits. You know what I'm saying? It takes skill and attention to detail and focus and learning to be able to recreate a face and to get likeness and accuracy there. So yeah, not to make you feel bad or make you feel like a child, but that is the best example I can give. But yeah, if it helps, and it, I would say it generally does, take the reference photo that you're using and bring it into a program like Procreate, or if you don't have Procreate, you can print it out and start making reference points and notes about it. You know, what are like the key features? Where do they relate to other key features? You know, if you want to, some people draw, you know, the shape of the brow. That's what I did for this face, getting that, because it's a big empty space, it's kind of like a geometric shape. So on Astarion's forehead, you can create these shapes and it kind of helps you understand what's going on a bit better. Because, like I said, it's not your instinct to understand like the shapes and the planes of the face naturally. Yeah, these are also things to look back on once you're done the drawing. You can use it to improve on new attempts. So when I stepped away and looked at my first attempt on the left side of the page, I could immediately see, okay, well, I really screwed up that left eyeball and eyebrow situation. The chin and the jawline are quite off. Nose seemed a bit long. So yeah, I would definitely suggest, instead of just moving on once you're done, like if you're trying to improve your skills in portrait drawing or any kind of drawing really, especially again, if you're recreating a likeness, or you're trying to create something accurate, not stylized, not abstract, anything like that, it's important. Well, I mean, it's still important to understand how to read the planes of the face and create that accuracy. But yeah, you know, you want to make notes on how you can improve. So the stuff I just said is notes that I made to myself before going into doing the second attempt. And while making the notes and noticing the things aren't going to instantly fix your drawing, you can see from left to right for me, applying that knowledge and then also taking the time to create the reference points and some shapes in there, like instantly improved my accuracy. So if it's hard for you to self-assess like this, for one, it will get easier. But you can always ask another artist who's further along in their skill development. I will say this is definitely one benefit of formal education, in that you have a lot of separate eyes to help your work improve. However, the internet is literally full of people. So just find the right ones to help you improve. If you want to ask me, you can, and I'll let you know if I feel like I have enough of skills developed to help you, or just give a quick assessment of where you can improve, or, you know, talk to each other in the comments. I don't know. Go on Reddit, maybe. If you're not comfortable opening up to strangers, then you can ask people you know in real life. And if you don't have anyone like that, then yeah, just shoot me a message and I'll do my best. Yeah, getting back to it, I think this attempt definitely comes off as like teenage or like young Astarion vibes, which I kind of dig, and it's certainly more stylized. But yeah, I did end up doing one more attempt at Astarion, and I do think I got a bit more of the accuracy in this one. I did also render it out a lot more than I did with this second attempt that I've been showing you guys in just live drawing. And yeah, like that's, like I said, certainly more stylized vibe, somewhat accurate, not perfect. Neither is my third attempt, but again, I think a lot closer. And I think even just across these 3 attempts, you can see a lot of improvement. I'm kind of hoping to make this a little series to watch my progress, because I really would like to improve my portrait drawing skills. I kind of want to set myself a challenge of doing like 100 portraits by the end of the year. I don't know. And I don't mean like fully rendered beautiful portraits every time. But let's just say in this sketchbook, we're aiming for 100 faces by the end of the year. Not doodle faces, not super quick and simple, but they don't have to be, like fully rendered out. I don't even, for myself, like doing fully rendered out work most of the time. And I do think that's too much pressure on myself at this point. But we'll see. But yeah, hold me accountable. 100 faces by the end of the year. I think that's pretty reasonable, since I also have a lot else to do with art, with my business and everything. So we'll see. And yeah, I'll put on screen here the other attempt that I did. Like I said, this I think is a lot more accurate, especially like seeing the age of Astarion. And like I said, it's much more rendered out. And here's some of the other faces I've done in those few days since. But yeah, I do think I got more of his likeness in this one. I think the little Lae'zel is also pretty good. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments if you have any tips for portrait drawing, or if you are also maybe going to attempt to improve your portrait drawing. Maybe you wanna join me in this 100 portraits by the end of the year challenge. Okay, gonna go now. Bye.